Planning. After reading this unit, you should be able to understand the meaning of planning as a management function, characteristics of planning function, how planning process takes place, merits and demerits of planning function, and various types of planning. Structure, introduction, meaning of planning, nature of planning, steps of planning function, why planning is necessary, types of planning, summary, self-assessment questions, references for the readings. The basic and primary aim of management is to solve the problem effectively, efficiently, creatively, owing to a highly competitive and dynamic working environment. Principles of management have long been discussed to help the managers to solve their short-term as well as long-term business problems. Due to the principles of management have been categorized into four basic functions, namely planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. POLC framework. These integrated and are highly essential functions of an organization ensures the smooth functioning of business enterprises on day-to-day basis and developing a strong foundation for long-term survival and growth. Other academics and business gurus have ramified these management functions like planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. No matter what the bifurcation is, planning is the first and most crucial function that needs to be performed for the effective functioning of other management functions. This unit explains in detail about planning as management function. Planning is done by managers at all levels of organization. You will see that all managers plan, though the character and breadth of planning may differ at different levels of organization. For example, while an assistant engineer at a work site plans for the accomplishment of work at his site from day to day or for 2 or 3 days in advance, the chief project manager must plan for the whole project over a larger period of time. Similarly, a multinational company's top management must plan over a longer time frame for a worldwide market. Planning is a means to some end. As such, it involves choices among alternatives, alternative goals, alternative programs, alternative means of achievement. What alternative to choose gives rise to decision making, which every manager will be required to question. Do you plan your day? How? Do you plan your holiday? Do you plan for your holidays, vacations? How? Why? Have you actively participated in planning of some big event like the annual function of your college or the marriage of a female relative of yours? Recapitulate how the event was planned. If you have given a thought of the above questions, you must have sensed the need for planning any activity whatsoever. Planning is considered most important because it attempts to offset uncertainty by foreseeing the future, bringing about the preparedness for the happenings in the future. In this way, it minimizes the chances of mistakes. Second, focuses attention on the objectives or goals of the organization and their attainment. Third, leads to economy in operation through the selection of the best possible course of action. Fourth, helps in controlling the activities by providing measures against the performance against the performance can be evaluated. Fifth, it helps in coordinating the operations of an enterprise, since a well-considered plan embraces and unifies all the divisions of an enterprise. Meaning of planning. Nothing can affect the success and failure of a business more than the planning function of an enterprise. The globalized and highly dynamic work environment strives for effective planning and its management. This crucial dictum is highly recognized, and its fuller assimilation can only be possible with the understanding of what is meant by planning. Planning is the management function which initiates with the setting business objective and determining various courses of actions to achieve stated objectives. A successful and efficient business manager scans the environmental conditions of the business or organization and forecasting future business conditions. Scanning and predicting future business environment requires a manager to be far-sighted and a good decision maker. Planning is a two-way process of looking back to derive future course of action. The preparatory step is systematic and scientific as it follows an order of what, when, how, and whom a specific job would be carried out. It is a detailed and comprehensive blueprint of organizational functioning in future. Planning involves a thorough examination of an organization's available physical as well as human resources to coordinate and contribute towards organizational activities. This basic management function involves developing a detailed organizational plan to balance between needs and demands of organizational resources and achieving organizational results thereof. Urvik stated that planning is a mental predisposition to do things in an orderly way, to think before acting and to act in the light of facts rather than guesses. It is a mental process of selecting the best of alternative resources to achieve organizational goals and goals following predetermined standards. In words of Kuntz and D. Donnell, planning is deciding in advance what to do, how to do, and who is to do it. Planning bridges the gap between where we are to where we want to go, and it makes possible things to occur which would not otherwise occur. Features of planning. Planning focuses on achieving objectives by deciding upon the activities to be undertaken. Planning is a primary function as it precedes all the functions of management, that is organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Planning is pervasive as it is required at all levels of management, but its scope may vary. Planning is continuous as plans need to be made on a continuous basis till an organization exists. Planning is futuristic as it seeks to meet future events effectively to the best advantage of an organization. Planning is therefore called forward-looking function. Planning involves decision making as it involves rational thinking to choose the best alternative among the various available alternatives in order to achieve the desired goals effectively and efficiently. Planning is a mental exercise as it is based on intellectual thinking involving foresight, visualization, and judgment rather than guesswork. Nature of planning process. The complex and comprehensive nature of planning makes it a function with several characteristics. Planning may have the following functions: a cognitive process. The planning process is highly intellectual and thus is cognitive. This managerial function is about thinking with creativity to utilize existing available resources for available opportunity. An organization that lacks in studying today's opportunity and do not reap its benefit profitably in time an organization that lacks in studying today's opportunity and do not reap its benefit profitability in time may take the opportunity into problem tomorrow. Planning for managers involves functions such as what, how, when, and by whom is to be done. An organization that makes timely decisions today with careful thinking need not worry for the future. Such an organization can effectively establish equilibrium between the external environment and internal environment. Planning with critical thinking and a high level of cognition ensures effective decision making. Planning versus forecasting. Many times planning and forecasting seem to be similar to each other, though they are common to each other to some extent, yet they hold a greater degree of differences. Forecasting refers to what is expected to happen if there are no way out to escape, whereas planning is about what one wants to happen. Forecasting leads to planning. For example, a threat to natural resources may encourage people and nations to plan for conservation of natural resources. Though planning involves evaluation, assessment, estimates, and calculations, yet these are made in the presence of available resources, time, and goals, and and objectives of natural resources. Apart from these, planning is a continuous process of assessment and evaluation of find the deviation and making corrections thereafter. In the modern decade, planning is highly complex and data-driven, involves various data and mining and analytics. Planning is the accomplishment of group objectives. An organization operates with the joint efforts of various individuals with varied personality, skills, attitudes, learning, and motivation. These varied individuals with varied beliefs and personality make a cohesive group that operates harmoniously to achieve organizational goals. Thus, planning involves achieving the objective of individual, keeping group and organizational objective in mind. The choice between alternatives. Modern business environment is highly dynamic and changes at a rapid pace. The plan and procedure that is used to be effective in past trend to be obsolete and redundant in the present scenario with a completely new and different business environment. Similarly, the presently available resources may not be available tomorrow, or may not fulfill the future new needs. Thus, planning involves judicious adjustments and adaptation in resources to grab the emerging business opportunities. The top management generally follows 3 steps of decision making: the decision about the objective of business, that is profitability, growth, consumer satisfaction, etc. The next it focuses on our selecting the strategy to achieve these objectives, followed by operation goals. Planning is all pervasive. Planning as a management function is so imperative that it pervades all managerial functions for a goal-oriented organization. It would be wrong to state that planning is just the first step. Rather, it is the step that influences each managerial function, be it organizing or controlling. Moreover, it is wrong to quote that planning is a task performed by top-level management only. Though they devote considerable time and discussion in the planning process, yet the role of a middle and lower level of management at the respective activities cannot be neglected to draw a successful, effective plan. Several of planning requires managers at different levels. The first step in determining the objective involves top management, but other following steps like operationalization of plan may require the involvement of middle and lower level as well. Involvement of people in planning process belonging to different levels in the organization can significantly boost their motivation level. Planning is flexible. For an organization to be successful, it is crucial to establish synergies between opportunity and the available resources. Forecasting the growth opportunity and adapting the resources accordingly does provide a competitive advantage to an organization. This requires careful identification of KSAs of people, man, material, and money to take advantage of the available opportunity, since the business environment is prone to suffer from uncertainty and dynamism. Alteration is a mix of materials, plans is very essential to survive and suit and change.